I love me. I love me. I love the person that I've became. Because now it's like I'm in charge. And I feel good about it.
October 18th, 2025, 12:15 p.m. A teenage boy's trembling voice breaks through the 911 dispatcher's routine Saturday shift. My mother, she's cold. Henry County deputies arrive at 1159 Garrett Road in Ridgeway, Virginia. The modest brick home sits quiet under the autumn sun. Inside, everything appears ordinary. Laundry folded neatly on the couch. A coffee mug still half full on the kitchen counter. The faint scent of vanilla candles. Then they enter the back bedroom. Rhonda Hairston Lockett, 39 years old, mother of 2, gone. 7 days ago she told her husband she was done. She wanted out, she wanted peace. Now that husband is nowhere to be found, and he's armed. This is how a marriage ends. Not with papers signed in a courthouse, but with a crime scene and a manhunt. Welcome to True Crime Anatomy. To all our amazing subscribers, thank you for always being here, and may your families stay safe wherever they are. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, because here, we uncover the parts the media never told you. April 3rd, 1986. Martinsville, Virginia. Linda Alcorn holds her newborn daughter for the first time. They named her Rhonda Lesha Hairston. Her father, Lorenzo Jerome Hairston Sr., works hard to provide. Her mother fills their home with faith. Sundays aren't optional in the Hairston household. They belong to Antioch Christian Church. And Rhonda, she finds her place in the choir. Her voice carries above the others, not because she's louder, but because there's something genuine in the way she sings, like the music comes from somewhere deep. Her sister Desania remembers how Rhonda would hum those hymns all week long, washing dishes, folding clothes, just living life with a melody running through it. By 2004, Rhonda walked across the stage at Magna Vista High School. Her grades are average. Her GPA won't earn scholarships. But ask anyone who went to school with her and they remember something else entirely. After graduation, reality sets in. College isn't in the cards. Not yet. Maybe not ever. So Rhonda does what thousands of young people in small Virginia towns do. She goes to work. May 16th, 2020. Drake Extrusion Inc. hires her. It's factory work. Repetitive. Hot. The kind of job that wears you down if you let it. Rhonda doesn't let it. Her sons, Omarte and Xavian, single motherhood isn't easy. Rhonda knows this. Every decision flows through one question. Is this good for my boys? Their schools, their sports teams, their birthday parties, their futures. She shows up to every game, every parent-teacher conference, every moment that matters. They are her reason. Then October 2022 arrives. Her father, Lorenzo Hairston Sr., dies. The man who taught her about faith, about perseverance, about showing up even when life gets hard, he's gone. And this isn't Rhonda's first time losing someone she loves. Years earlier, her older brother passed away. That wound never fully healed. Now it's ripped open again. The family looks to her. Rhonda becomes the glue, the one who makes the phone calls every morning, the one who remembers everyone's birthday, the one who texts, "I love you," without needing a reason. Somewhere in all of this, she holds on to a dream. Nursing school. She wants to care for people professionally, the way she already does naturally. She picks up brochures. She looks at programs. She tells Desania about it during their daily phone calls. The dream sits on hold, but it never disappears. And she has no idea that her time is running out. Figsboro, Virginia, sits just miles from Ridgeway. Small town. Everybody knows everybody. The kind of place where your reputation follows you whether you want it to or not. Joseph Chad Lockett grew up here, 40 years old by 2025. On paper, he looks ordinary, works a job, attends church, keeps to himself mostly. Friends and neighbors use the same words to describe him: quiet, private, unremarkable. But court records tell a different story. Joseph Chad Lockett is a convicted felon. The details of his prior conviction aren't widely published, but the charges filed after Rhonda's death confirm one critical fact. He committed a violent felony serious enough to permanently strip his right to own firearms. Under federal and Virginia state law, that's a lifetime ban. No exceptions, no second chances. Yet somehow, years later, he'll have a gun in his hands again. Before that day comes, though, Joseph presents a different image to the world. He's the guy who shows up on time, doesn't cause trouble, nods hello at the grocery store, goes to church on Sundays, same as everyone else. People who interact with him casually see nothing concerning. He's polite, maybe a bit reserved. Nothing that raises alarms. No one reports anything. No one sees warning signs significant enough to mention. No one suspects that the quiet man from Figsborough carries anything dangerous inside him. Not yet, but Rhonda will learn the truth. April 26, 2021. Springtime in Virginia. The sun breaks through the clouds just as Rhonda Hairston and Joseph Chad Lockett exchange vows. It's a small ceremony, intimate, family and close friends only. Rhonda wears a smile that reaches her eyes. Joseph holds her hand gently. They promise forever beneath that spring sky. To everyone watching, it looks like a new beginning. Rhonda has been through enough pain, losing her brother, raising 2 sons, working herself to exhaustion. She deserves happiness. She deserves love, and Joseph seems to offer exactly that. Days later, they board a plane to Las Vegas. Honeymoon in the desert. The photos tell a story of their own. 2 people laughing in the Nevada heat, posing in front of casinos, holding hands on the strip. Wide smiles, arms wrapped around each other. The look of 2 people who believe they can build something lasting. Rhonda posts some of these moments online. Not excessively, just enough to share her joy. Friends commented, "So happy for you. You deserve this. Beautiful couple." In the months that follow, life appears normal. Rhonda and Joseph settle into married life. They attend church together. They have dinner with their family. They post occasional photos. Nothing dramatic, nothing remarkable. Just 2 people living quietly in Ridgeway. Co-workers at Drake Extrusion notice Rhonda seems content. She still dances during breaks. She still shares those TikTok videos. She talks about Joseph the way newlyweds do, casually mentioning "my husband" with a certain pride in her voice. But somewhere between year 1 and year 2, something changes. It starts small, the kind of thing that's easy to dismiss. A disagreement over something minor. Joseph's tone is a little sharper than necessary, a comment that stings more than it should. Rhonda brushes it off. All couples argue. All marriages have rough patches. This is normal. This will pass. Except it doesn't pass. The disagreements become more frequent. The tension lingers longer. What used to resolve in hours now takes days. The air in their home grows heavier. Rhonda stops talking about Joseph as much. When Desania asks how married life is going, Rhonda's answers get shorter. "Fine, good, you know how it is." But Desania knows her sister. She hears what Rhonda isn't saying. At family gatherings, Rhonda smiles. She hugs everyone. She asks about their lives. But those who love her notice the difference. The smile doesn't quite reach her eyes anymore. The laugh sounds practiced, rehearsed. Joseph's words, once tender, take on an edge. What used to be a concern starts to feel like criticism. What used to be affection starts to feel like possession. "Where were you? Who were you talking to? Why didn't you answer your phone?" Questions that sound like care but land like accusations. Rhonda finds herself explaining things that shouldn't need explanation. Defending choices that shouldn't need defense. Apologizing for things that aren't her fault. She starts choosing her words more carefully around him. Measuring her tone. Avoiding topics that might set him off. Walking on eggshells in her own home. The woman who used to sing hymns while doing dishes grows quieter. The woman who danced during factory breaks starts to fade. Not all at once. Gradually, like a light dimming so slowly you don't notice until you're sitting in near darkness. And Rhonda is caught between 2 truths she can't reconcile. The man she married is still there somewhere. She sees glimpses of him. Moments when Joseph is kind again, gentle again. The person she fell in love with. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's temporary. Maybe if she just tries harder, loves better, gives more, maybe things will go back to how they were. But another truth whispers underneath. This isn't getting better. This is getting worse. And Rhonda doesn't know which truth to believe. The exhaustion sets in. Not physical tiredness, though she's tired from working, from raising her sons, from managing a household. This is a different kind of exhaustion. The kind that lives in your chest. The kind that makes simple conversations feel like navigating a minefield. Desania notices during their daily phone calls. Rhonda's voice sounds flat. Drained. "You okay, sis?" "Yeah, just tired." "Tired from work or tired from something else?" Silence on the other end. Then finally, Desania, I'm just tired. Tired of tension, tired of feeling like I'm always doing something wrong, tired of believing love is supposed to hurt this much. It's the most honest thing Rhonda has said in months. Desania wants to say, then leave him. But she knows it's not that simple. It's never that simple. Time is precious, and Rhonda realizes she's spending hers in a marriage that's slowly erasing who she is. She remembers the version of herself that existed before Joseph, the woman who laughed easily, who sang without thinking, who believed joy was her birthright, not something she had to earn. She wants that woman back. And then, sometime in early October 2025, Rhonda makes a decision. 1 week before October 18th, she tells Joseph she's done. She wants out, she wants a divorce, she wants her life back. Casey will later describe it as the hardest and most courageous choice of her life. Because Rhonda isn't leaving out of anger, she's leaving out of hope. Hope that freedom exists on the other side. Hope that she can rebuild. Hope that her sons will grow up seeing their mother happy instead of hollow. She talks about starting fresh, being present for Omarte and Xavian without the constant weight of a failing marriage. For the first time in years, Rhonda allows herself to imagine a future that doesn't hurt. She shared a video expressing how happy she finally was to be free.
I love me. I love me. I love the person that I've become. Because now it's like I'm in charge. And I feel good about it. No shame. Yeah, I love me. My black is beautiful.
But Joseph's response isn't recorded. No one documents what he says when Rhonda tells him she's leaving. No one captures his reaction. What we know is this: Joseph Chad Lockett doesn't let go easily. And in the 7 days between Rhonda's declaration and October 18th, 2025, something inside him makes a choice. If he can't have her, no one will. The clock is ticking. Rhonda doesn't know it yet, but she has 1 week left. 1 week until her son finds her cold in her bedroom. 1 week until Joseph disappears. 1 week until everything she hoped for dies with her. October 18th, 2025, Saturday morning in Ridgeway, Virginia. Rhonda wakes up in her home at 1159 Garrett Road. It's a quiet weekend morning, the kind where you can take your time. No rush to get to Drake Extrusion. No alarm clock pulling her out of sleep. She moves through her routine. Coffee starts brewing in the kitchen. The rich smell fills the small house. She folds laundry on the couch. Towels, her son's clothes, the everyday task of keeping a household running. Everything is ordinary, peaceful, even. Rhonda has no idea this is her last normal morning. Sometime before 12:15 p.m., Joseph arrives. The exact time isn't recorded. Security cameras don't capture his approach. No neighbors report seeing his vehicle pull up. But he gets to 1159 Garrett Road, and he gets inside. Here's what investigators know. There's no forced entry, no broken windows, no kicked-in doors, no signs of a struggle outside the home, which means one of two things happened. Either Rhonda let him in, maybe he asked to talk, maybe he said he just needed to pick something up, maybe she thought one more conversation could end things peacefully, or he still had keys. Access he never gave back. The ability to enter her home whenever he wanted. Either way, Joseph Chad Lockett is inside. What happens next? No one witnesses. The walls of 1159 Garrett Road hold the only testimony, and walls don't speak. But the scene tells its own story. There's a confrontation. Words are exchanged. Maybe Joseph tries to convince her to change her mind. Maybe he begs. Maybe he threatens. Maybe all three. Rhonda holds firm. She's made her decision. She's not backing down. Not this time. And Joseph realizes he's lost control. The one thing he's fought to maintain for years, control over Rhonda, over their marriage, over the narrative of their life together, it's slipping away. He can't allow that. One gunshot, that's all it takes. The laundry still sits folded on the couch. The coffee pot still has coffee in it. The candles still burn. Nothing else in the house is disturbed. No overturned furniture. No broken dishes. No signs of a prolonged fight. Just a woman in her bedroom who wanted to be free, and a man who couldn't let her go. Joseph doesn't stay. He doesn't call 911. He doesn't check for a pulse or attempt to help. He leaves, immediately, quickly, taking nothing but the knowledge of what he's just done. But he makes a critical mistake. He leaves the gun behind, the weapon that will tie him directly to this crime. The firearm a convicted felon should never have possessed in the first place. Evidence doesn't lie, and Joseph just left the truth lying in Rhonda's home. By the time he's on the road, the clock is already ticking. He has maybe an hour, maybe less, before someone finds her, before the call goes out, before every law enforcement officer in Henry County starts looking for him. Joseph drives away from 1159 Garrett Road. 12:15 p.m. The Henry County Sheriff's Office receives a call. Someone requests a welfare check at 1159 Garrett Road in Ridgeway. The dispatcher takes the information. An anonymous caller. No name given. Just a concern about a woman at that address who might need help. Deputies are dispatched. Routine welfare check. They've done hundreds of these. Usually it's nothing. Someone forgot to charge their phone. Someone fell asleep. Someone just didn't hear the doorbell. 2 deputies arrive at 1159 Garrett Road. The house looks normal from the outside, no signs of disturbance, no obvious emergency, but someone meets them before they reach the door. A teenage boy, Rhonda's son. One of the 2 boys she worked double shifts to support. His voice cracks when he speaks to the deputies. My mother needs help. The deputies ask questions. When did you last see her? Is anyone else in the house? Is she hurt? The boy struggles to answer. He doesn't have all the details. He just knows something is terribly wrong. The deputies enter the house. They see what Rhonda saw that morning. Folded laundry, coffee in the pot, candles that have burned down but not yet gone out. A frozen moment of ordinary life. Then they move toward the back bedroom, and ordinary ends. Rhonda Hairston Lockett, 39 years old, lifeless. The deputies immediately call it in. This isn't a welfare check anymore. This is a homicide investigation. Within minutes, the house becomes a crime scene. Yellow tape goes up. Additional units arrive. Investigators begin processing evidence. The medical examiner's initial assessment, apparent gunshot wound. Close range, single shot, no signs of forced entry, no signs of robbery, nothing taken, nothing ransacked. This wasn't random, this was personal. Detectives start asking questions immediately. Who would want to hurt Rhonda? Who had access to her home? Who knew she'd be here alone on a Saturday morning? The answers come quickly. Family members mention Joseph, the estranged husband, the recent separation, the tension that had been building for years. Deputies run his name through the system. Joseph Chad Lockett, 40 years old, from Figsboro, Virginia, and there it is, convicted felon. Violent offense in his past. Legally prohibited from owning or possessing a firearm. Yet the weapon recovered at the scene, it's registered, traceable, and it leads directly back to him. Within hours, Joseph Chad Lockett goes from estranged husband to prime suspect.
Out of Henry County, sheriff's deputies responding to a welfare check on Saturday found a woman dead in a home south of the Ridgeway area, and they've identified the victim as Rhonda Lockett. Investigators say the victim's estranged husband, Joseph Lockett, is a suspect. He's wanted for first-degree murder. Deputies say he should be considered armed and dangerous.
By Saturday evening, his name and photo are being circulated to every law enforcement agency in the region. Henry County Sheriff's Office, Martinsville Police, Virginia State Police. Sheriff Wayne Davis makes the determination. Joseph is armed and dangerous. The public needs to know. The alert goes out. If you see this man, do not approach. Call 911 immediately. But Joseph is already gone, already running, already trying to disappear into the rural Virginia landscape he knows so well. The manhunt begins. Sheriff Wayne Davis stands before the media. His message is direct.
This past Saturday at approximately 12:15, we received a call to conduct a well-being check there on Garrett Road in Ridgeway. Our deputies responded shortly thereafter. Upon arrival at the home, they made contact with a 17-year-old male juvenile who had stated he had just found his mother in a state of distress and that she needed help. Our deputies immediately went inside. What we determined was that individual was in fact deceased at that time. Through the course of the investigation, this investigative team worked diligently, day in and day out, to bring justice to this family for this tragic incident. So what we determined is that the individual, Miss Rhonda Hairston Lockett, was in fact deceased from a single gunshot wound. Through the course of that investigation, they spent Saturday and Sunday collecting physical evidence, forensic evidence, and conducting witness interviews. As a result of that, we determined that Joseph Chad Lockett was responsible for her death. At such time, we charged him with first-degree murder. We currently have an outstanding first-degree murder warrant on him. We are looking for his whereabouts, so anyone who may know where he's at, please contact 911.
The community responds in ways investigators don't expect. Social media explodes. Rhonda's story spreads across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Friends share her photo. Strangers share the alert. Everyone wants to help find the man who took her life. And then Casey Alcorn posts, Rhonda's brother, the one who's been holding his family together while falling apart inside. My damn heart is crushed and broken over and over again. God knows I'd rather be in prison. My little sister Rhonda Lockett was a pure piece of love, and never did I question you. Damn it, I don't know what to feel. Thank you for always having my back and being there for me from day one. I love you forever. See you later, beautiful. Justice will be served one way or another. Monday, October 20th, 2025, 5:45 p.m., 225 Niblett Drive, Martinsville, Virginia. Law enforcement receives information that Joseph Lockett is inside this residence. The source is reliable, the tip is solid. Tactical units move in. Henry County Sheriff's deputies, SWAT team members. Officers position themselves around the property, every exit covered, every window watched. They don't know what to expect. Inside the house, Joseph faces reality. He can't run anymore. There's nowhere left to go. Then the front door opens. Joseph Chad Lockett steps outside, hands raised, no weapon visible, no resistance. He surrenders peacefully. The charges are filed immediately. 3 counts. First, first-degree murder, Virginia Code Section 18.232. The intentional, premeditated killing of another human being. If convicted, Joseph faces life in prison without parole or the death penalty. Second, use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, Virginia Code Section 18.2-53.1. This adds mandatory years to any sentence. No possibility of parole on this charge. Third, possession of a firearm by a violent convicted felon, Virginia Code Section 18.2-308.2. Joseph was legally banned from ever touching a gun, yet he obtained one anyway, and he used it to kill his wife. The arrest brings relief. The dangerous man is off the streets. The community can breathe again. But for Rhonda's family, relief isn't peace. Joseph sits in a jail cell. Rhonda lies in the morgue. Her sons sleep in a house that no longer has their mother. Her sister Desania will never get another daily phone call. Her brother Casey will never hear her laugh again. 1 week after Rhonda's death, the community organizes a balloon release. People gather in a park in Ridgeway. Family, friends, co-workers, neighbors, people who knew Rhonda well and people who only knew her story. They each hold a balloon, colors Rhonda loved. Each balloon carries a prayer, a memory, a message to heaven. On the count of 3, they release them. Dozens of balloons rise into the October sky. Children point upward. Adults wipe tears. Someone starts humming a hymn Rhonda used to sing at Antioch Christian Church. It's beautiful. It's heartbreaking. It's inadequate. Because how do you honor a life that was stolen? How do you celebrate someone who should still be here? October 2022. Rhonda's father, Lorenzo Hairston Sr., dies. October 2025. Exactly 3 years later, almost to the day, Rhonda dies. The wounds from losing their father had barely begun to heal. Now they're torn open again, deeper and more painful than before. Linda Alcorn has now buried her husband and her daughter. Casey has lost his father and his sister. Desania has lost the person she talked to every single day. And Omarte and Xavian, teenage boys navigating the hardest years of life, must do it without their mother. Without the woman who made every decision based on what was best for them. Rhonda's story is tragic, but it's not unique. Domestic violence statistics tell a harsh truth. The most dangerous time for a victim isn't during the abuse, it's when they try to leave. Researchers call it separation assault. When a victim attempts to end the relationship, the abuser's need for control intensifies. If they can't control the victim anymore, they'll control the outcome. And too often, that outcome is fatal. 1 in 4 women will experience severe intimate partner violence in their lifetime. 1 in 4. That's millions of people living in fear. Millions of people trapped between staying and risking their lives by leaving. Firearms make it worse. Studies show that abusers with access to guns are 5 times more likely to kill their partners. 5 times. A domestic dispute that might end in injury becomes a murder scene when a gun is present. Even if somehow the murder charge is reduced, Joseph is looking at decades behind bars minimum. As of now, Joseph Lockett sits in Henry County Jail awaiting trial. The legal process will take time. Arraignment, preliminary hearings, motions, discovery, jury selection, the trial itself, months, maybe years. Omartai and Xavian will grow up without their mother, but they'll grow up knowing she loved them more than anything, that every choice she made was for them, that she worked double shifts, sacrificed her dreams, and fought to give them a better life. And in the end, when she finally chose freedom, when she finally chose herself, it cost her everything. But her sons will carry her forward. Her family will speak her name. To anyone watching this who's weighing whether to leave an unsafe relationship, Rhonda's story isn't a reason to stay. It's a reminder to plan carefully. Reach out for help. Contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Tell someone you trust. Know that organizations exist specifically to protect people in your situation. Leaving is dangerous, but staying can be fatal too. And you deserve to live. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If Rhonda's story moved you, if you learned something, if you know someone who needs to hear this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to True Crime Anatomy for daily coverage that honors victims by telling their complete stories. Tomorrow we examine another case the media missed, another person whose life mattered, another story that deserves to be heard. Stay safe out there.